Data of every description will pervade our consciousness. Holograms projected beneath our eyelids. Direct retinal stimulation.
Welcome to the DCC Museum.
Hi and welcome back at the museum. Today's video is about VU meters. VU meters are lacking in the third generation Philips DCC 951 and 730. In the past we have worked on this pet project because it has cigarette burns here and it had a crack here to actually add analog VU meters which were like stock from China, and we added and they would just fit, and we got a lot of positive and negative feedback based upon that. But now we found a company in Bulgaria that has created a EVOR04 Slimline display. This display emulates a VU meter, spectrum analyzer, and all kinds of other things. So since it has always bothered us that the 951 and 730 does not have a VU meter, in this video we're going to try and fit this right here in the corner and replace these analog VU meters and see if we can make that work. Okay, here we go. The reason we cut out the entire frame rather than just a visible part was the fact that the side was damaged from a previous transport, and we had already covered this with the analog VU. So now we had to go bigger and then find a way to cover the imperfections with a 3D printed frame. We used professional hot glue to mount the display. Before putting the board with the controls and display back, we noticed that these connectors put too much pressure on the buttons and the new display, so we flipped them over to the other side of the board. USB can be used for powering the display and programming. At first we used the analog input, but decided to use the headphones output later. We also found that using the touchscreen for every single change on the VU meters was a lot of clicking, and the EVOR04 allows a rotary and push potentiometer to fast track this. So we decided to replace the unused microphone input on the front of the player with the rotate and push potentiometer. On this board there is also the level control for headphones. We decided to use that as the input, so we have instant control over the 50 mV to 2 volts difference that is sent to the new VU meter. Each tape is recorded differently, and although the display allows for this change, it would have to be done for each individual VU layout or spectrum analyzer. A lot of clicking again that can be avoided by using the available volume control for headphones. So turning the potentiometer left is backwards in the menu, turning to the right forward, and clicking is moving one layout forward. We also use the 5V on board, so the display will be activated when the player is turned on. As we only have a new inbox and a Proto DCC 730, we were not able to build the EVOR04 in this player. It will fit, but the text is, unlike the 951, in the way, so it would be better to locate the display not in the corner, but over the entire text more in the middle. So now we do a full demo. Any focus or not so sharp needles in the VU are caused by the camera trying to catch up with the display.
Pretty brown-eyed girl, you rock my world. You make me spin, my heart it burns, my stomach turns, and everything is alright, everything is alright. Put on that summer dress, I'll take you outside. This winter was too long, now summer's here and we've become who we are. Sexy redhead chick, you make me kick, You make me fly like a bee in the sky, out of my mind, and everything is alright, and everything is so fine. Put on that summer dress, I'll take you outside. This winter was too long, our summer's here and we've become who we are. Dragged you in, out of a messy life, pulled you near, 'cause I knew what I found. All I need is my best friend around. Fly with me, I'll take you higher ground. And this is what we want, this is who we are. And this is who we are, this is who we love. Little everything, you make me sing, you make me smile, out of my eyes, out of this world, and everything is alright, everything is so fine. Put on that summer dress, I'll take you outside. This winter was too long, our summer's here and we've become who we are. Dragged you in, out of a messy life, pulled you near, 'cause I knew what I found. All I need is my best friend around. Fly with me, I'll take you higher ground. And this is what we do, this is what we want. And this is who we are, this is who we love. see no stars tonight. I promise I will shoot them all out of the sky for you. But you know that I'll do.
So here we have two different versions, one with the 3D printed frame and one without that we filed. Looks a little bit better, but it's also more work. The good news is that these kits will become available for the Patreon in our Patreon store on our website. We will put links in the description of this video. With this kit you will get all the parts, including the pot meters, the frame, and you can use the frame to either make sure it looks like this perfectly or use it as a template for filing like in this example. We will also be offering these services to Patreons that we would do this for them. You could send in the front 5 screws and you can remove the whole front and send it to us. We would do that for a 951 or 730. That would fit. And also we have been considering what else could we do with this EVOR04. Let's see. So before we even started thinking about upgrading a 951 or 730, the original idea was to build this beautiful spectrum analyzer or VU meter in a 4-piece array, like we call it the Quattro. And for that we had ordered a 2U 19-inch rack because we work here with 19-inch racks at the DCC Museum. And then when we were going to build it, we found out that one of the drawers we were taking out, which is a 4U, would fit perfectly and give us the extra room to fit extra buttons, on and off switch, and 8 potentiometers. So for service accessibility, we put there we go. We put it in the drawer so we can take it out, and that leaves us with accessible electronics, but also the USB part where we can hook it up to a computer and then select with the USB switch. We can select which one of these we really want to program. So in fact, this is like 4 times what we have in our 951, but essentially it is the same. This is not the Slimline, this is the regular version.
Everything of what you did last night, and you
The frequency test and sweep done with the DCC general purpose test is pretty accurate. So lastly, I want to show you a little bit about the software called VU Remote. The remote works on PC and Mac and for both EVOR04 and the EVOR04 Slimline. In the software, you can do various settings like address here what the button should do on the push and rotate. And the software is always hooked up through USB, like I said before. In the resource managers, you can add any JPEG that you want to start with. You have to work with a resolution 320x240 like we show here. And then from there on, you can choose what VU you want to create. We've had great help from Svilan Stoyanov, the owner of the EVOR04 company that makes them. He was a great help on providing the resource for this homage on the new VU that we will provide for the DCC Museum, the homage, of course, to the first generation DCC player. It's fairly easy once you get to know the software on how to modify and create new VU meters. You can really go as far as the thickness of the needle and how far the output should be. So you see a little bit of revox in there. And very importantly, they all come plug and play. Everything you see here will come installed on these EVOR04. So even if you don't feel comfortable on programming them yourself, you don't have to. They work from the get-go. So that was it. I really hope you enjoyed our journey on making this. See you next time.